In January, we both got ill actually for the first time in the last couple of years. Luckily, we're both fine now, but we were out of action or reduced in action for a couple of weeks. So when we were feeling a bit better, there were lots of things to catch up on around the farmstead. One thing I definitely didn't need to do urgently, but did feel like doing, was to make a few new compost areas in some of the terraces. Our current compost areas are quite close to the house and the main current growing area, which is really handy in that sense, but they're also in a kind of awkward corner, which makes them quite hard to turn, so I wanted to make some more accessible piles in other places. It's also just easier if you have more piles, I guess, because while you're clearing that area, you can just easily chuck that stuff in a pile that's really close to where you're working. I ended up building 2 new compost areas in 2 of the terraces that are still quite close to the house, which are the ones we're probably going to be working on most over the next few years. I was using pallets that I picked up for €1 each at a local agricultural co-op. I can fit about 6 pallets in the car at once, so the next time I pass the co-op I'll pick up 6 more, and so on until we've got a compost area in every terrace, with space to turn the compost as well. Now I need to figure out how to bring water over here to water this compost. We've got 2 deposits, we're quite far from both of them at this point. I'm not sure which is going to be the closest one to try and pump water over here from, and I'm not sure if we've got a hose long enough at the moment, so I'm going to give that a go. Not close at all with the hose. We also had a slightly less pleasant task which we needed to do. So these are the pine processionary moth caterpillars, and they come out at the end of winter, and they have these little hairs on them which are really irritating, and although they're kind of irritating for humans, they're actually really bad for dogs because dogs sniff them, and the hairs, like if they get in their nasal passages and stuff, can cause like tissue death, necrosis. So yeah, and apparently, I don't know if this is true, apparently they actually have a smell which dogs find interesting, so dogs might actually go and kind of sniff out the little hairs if they sniff them on the floor, or if they have kind of fallen from the tree or anything. So we're getting rid of all of these. From what I can see, they tend to grow on the younger, smaller pines, which is quite handy because they're a bit easier to reach. There are 1 or 2 I've seen which I'm not sure I'm going to be able to reach, even with the extendable loppers. There's actually not many of these on our land. I'm actually on a public path at the moment, but we use this path a lot. It's just round like the side of our land, so I thought I would just be a good citizen and cut them down from here as well. Well, for us as much as anyone else, but yeah, they're a bit too close for comfort. I didn't need these extra long loppers for this tree. It's like 1 meter in the air, but this is what I've got with me, so oh, come on.
In the middle, or I think this is enough?
I'm sure that's fine. We also finally got around to the long-awaited task of fixing the insulation on our chimney, just as winter's drawing to an end. This is possibly the worst thing a human has ever built. And of course there's also the normal day-to-day things that we need to do. Actually, our general household chores schedule to keep the house ticking over is quite light. In all honesty, we don't actually clean that much because everything just gets dirty and dusty again so quickly anyway. But obviously we have things like washing and sweeping and some amount of cleaning that needs to get done every so often. And all of that piled up whilst we were ill.
There's a lot of colors, I don't know where to go. See a lot of colors, only feeling blue. There's a lot of colors, lost within a haze. Don't rely on others to get you through the maze. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea. Cannot take this anymore.
One thing that I want to do over the next month or so is build at least one kind of cold frame, and if the design works well, build more. I'd like to have like a whole row of cold frames along this wall. So I've got some materials here. If Mauro was doing this, he'd have like the design drawn out and measured in a notebook and everything organised on paper. The way I tend to do things is just pile my materials together and look at them and try and think and move them into different positions and see what seems like it might go together. When we rebuild the ruin, we'll probably do it Mauro's way, but for now that's what I'm going to try and do. I've got some transparent plastic, translucent plastic, some sticks. I've got this stuff which is also translucent, reinforced, like insulated plastic as well. This peels off so it will be translucent. Some pallets and some windows that we salvaged from a skip in Valencia. So today I'm going to be sowing some seeds. I'm just looking at the garden plan that I made. I've never done this before, I've never had enough space to plan what I would put in different places. But since we've got a lot of space, I thought it would be good to actually follow some sort of a plan and a schedule this year. And I've got stuff planned out to sow all the way up from January through to the end of May. Haven't thought beyond that yet. And I've got the beds planned out, so I know more or less where I'm going to be putting things. We've got a few areas by the house that I've planned what the transitions are going to be once the old veg comes out of there. And then I've more or less planned what beds we're going to have in the main growing area that we're going to be working on this year. So I'm just looking to see what I need to sow this week of January. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be sowing some lettuces, some spinach and some tomato. So I need to figure out where that's going to go and then make sure I've got the beds available. Okay, so according to my plan, we're going to put a bed here in front of this gate, and that's going to be a bed of spinach. And over here along this wall where I was just trimming, I'm going to try again to build my cold frame. That didn't really work last time. I couldn't figure out how to use these pallets exactly, how to get the windows on top. But I've come up with another idea, so I'll show you that later. But for now I'm going to do something really simple, really cheap with materials that we've already got, so that at least we've got somewhere undercover, kind of, to put some of the seeds that I'm about to start.
There are a lot of voices drowning in the sea. There's too many voices talking back at me. There are a lot of choices waiting to be made. Too many choices making me afraid. Dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore. Take this anymore. The dreams are not the same for me.
So this is it. This is what I was thinking for now would do. Just a ring of bricks and a piece of this greenhouse plastic material, can't remember what it's called, on top. And this should be enough for the seeds that I'm going to sow today, and we'll see if it works, and if it does, I can either build a few more of these, or if the materials have come for the, oh hello, for doing like the full cold frame that I want to do along here, then I'll build that. But this took like half an hour, so if you haven't kind of guessed or noticed from our videos already, we're all about like quick, simple solutions that just solve the problem that we have right now in the quickest, easiest, cheapest way possible. And I think that's a really good way to go, because every time you do something, you learn a little bit from it, and it improves your plans for next time. And if you haven't spent a lot of money and time on something, you can do something like this, kind of like a MVP kind of thing, and you learn so much that you can apply to the next iteration. Oh, you're a good boy. Oh, yes you are. Oh, you're a good boy. There's just one more thing I want to do before I start sowing the seeds, and that's build a table to work at, because it's super annoying not having any kind of table outside to put your seeds up on and work at a comfortable height. So there we go, a table. Now I can finally plant my seeds, and it's going to be a lot easier with an actual table to work at. Obviously it's a bit wobbly. I need to put like some support across, like some cross things with some wood when I have some across the legs, but it'll do for now.
The dreams are not the same for me. open sea cannot take this anymore.
So I've got this coconut fibre which just needed rehydrating with water, and I'm going to mix that in with some compost, some store-bought compost, and that'll be the potting mixture. I've just realised I'm not using my table. Right, so let me consult my little book. 4th week of January, so we're going to do some lettuce, some little gem, some manticosa, which is this one, this purpley lettuce, and some tomatoes, 3 cantos, a large tomato. So I think I'll do the tomatoes in here. Hang on, I've got 3 kinds of lettuce here. 1, 2, and some little gem.
The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore, while you're on the open sea, cannot take this anymore. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore, while you're on the open sea, cannot take this anymore.
This is also not going to be a flood irrigation bed. This is going to be a water by hand / maybe drip irrigation bed, if I can get the tubes and the pipes and stuff that I need for that in time. I just thought I'd try something different in this particular bed, because I've got enough beds testing out how the flood irrigation's working. So. Well, we've gone a bit off track with the plan already. This was going to be for lettuce, but I just really wanted to sow some more radish. So I thought I would sow some radish here instead. I've got some black radish and some daikon and some random radish from some seeds that I'd saved last year. These radishes have been growing so well in other places, so even if the spinach doesn't do so well, because I haven't grown spinach before, I don't know how it's going to go, at least there'll be something in this bed, and I think it will be really good. Well, there we go, that's the new bed done. That's everything that I wanted to get done today done. Now I think I'm going to water the rest of these beds by hand, and then I might assemble a wardrobe. Well, we are finally going to deal with this pile of clothes on the floor, which didn't have a home. And they're going to go on here. And we've also got an old chest of drawers that I found in someone selling online. So with that and the wardrobe, things should be a bit tidier in this bedroom. Hello. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Tight corner.
Yep. You got it. You're
Yeah, I got it. There we go. I've been saving hangers just for this occasion, this momentous occasion of Mauro hanging up his clothes. I'm so glad that pile's going to be gone. What's next? Any spiders?
There's many spiders under there.
This little room's becoming more like a bedroom every day. Well, not every day, when we occasionally do things like bring furniture up that makes it a little bit more homely. Well, I think that's it for today. I am just going to do one more thing before the sun goes down, and that is go around and find some leaves for dinner. I'm going to make a stew, and I'm pretty sure that we've got a lot of leaves to pick to put in it. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there, and thanks for watching again, and see you next time.